Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Now here's the part where I want us to land at, right? And it's the notion that I don't think Joe Rogan's ever had like a unapologetic Christian on his platform like this. Now, granted, Kanye is Kanye, and Kanye is running for president, and Kanye, right, and does all kinds, he's a billionaire, all these kind of things. But what I feel like happens is at the end of this conversation is Kanye wins over Joe Rogan. Not necessarily to the faith and Joe Rogan gets radically saved, but it wins him over. Check this part out.
Okay, tell me what I'm saying.
What you're saying is that it's your overall philosophy, the way you're approaching life. You're approaching life that there is good for everyone. If we all work together in the spirit of the way you think, the spirit of God, that not approach this like with a famine mentality, but approach this like there's enough for everybody. There's an abundance if we engineer it correctly, if we think about it correctly, if we all come together with the spirit of everybody helping everybody. This is the spirit of Christianity. This is the good spirit of Christianity, not the Christianity that gets despised or disparaged or, evangelists driving around in private jets. The spirit of goodness and treating each other like brothers and sisters.
Yes.
That this can be done on a national scale.
Yes. Because those evangelists or the people who spread the word of God, there's people who are praying for me. We're praying. Like I said, I like to, yes, I am a genius, but one of my most genius skill sets is recognizing other geniuses and empowering them and giving them the platform. So the people that have been praying for me this whole time, for Ye to work for the kingdom, look at me right here working from the kingdom, not leaning on my ego, not leaning on anything, but leaning on God in this situation, saying, let's rise up together and show people what it's like to be Christ-like. Yeah, we fall short. You know what I mean? People love to look at the Christians that are the least Christ-like to judge Christianity as a whole. Well, a lot of people got Jordans and 23s on and very few of them play like LeBron. They want to be like Mike.
Yes.
But it's very few people that get that close.
Yes. Christ-like. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're saying is beautiful. Yeah. That they do judge the people that fail.
People always go to the furthest extent. Like if you talk about abortion culture, people immediately.
So to be like Christ. I've been listening to Joe Rogan for a few years. This is the first time that I've heard Joe Rogan positively speak about Jesus and Christianity in a positive way, right? And granted, I don't think this is someone where he's converted and Kanye came in there and preached this sermon, and I don't think that was the objective. But what I want to point out to you guys, everybody watching, the world has this concept on lock, and it's this idea. You guys have all heard it. The idea of allies, right? The idea of allies. The people call me an ally to the black community, which I think is kind of a weird phrase, but because I'm willing to speak up on issues of injustice and I'm willing to speak up when there's police brutality, people call me an ally, right? The LGBTQ community has allies, right? You're not necessarily in the community, you're an ally to the community. I'm not black, but I'm an ally to the black community. Christians really desperately need to adopt this idea that Kanye going on Joe Rogan has made Joe Rogan an ally, at least to Kanye, and hopefully to the cause of Kanye, which is ultimately Jesus and the gospel being moved ahead and the kingdom being moved ahead. That is a beautiful concept because this is how you shift culture. This is how you move stuff in a direction where people don't just look at the wackest, most toxic examples of Christian and culture and say, oh yeah, that's all of Christianity. No, there are healthy, amazing people who love Jesus. They're normal people. They're attainable. You could have dope conversations with them. And you walk away with, I don't believe everything you believe necessarily, but I like you. And next time, catch this, next time Joe Rogan is around somebody and they start bad-mouthing Christianity, or someone says something wild about Jesus or Christians, Joe Rogan will probably speak up and be like, no, No. It's not all like that. There's good people that follow God. There's good Christians that are really genuinely trying to be Christ-like. Don't just compare the wildest examples and say, that they make up all of Christianity. And I think this is the takeaway for all of us here. We need to be on mission in that way. So many of us are thinking that if we say these specific words in this specific sequence, that it will be a superstitious like magic dust that flows over the person and they'll radically get saved. And it's like, that's not how a lot of people work. You want to create friendships. You want to create relationships. You want to create, dare I say, allies of not people necessarily converted, but they will speak up and have your back, or at least have the back of your cause when other people badmouth it. And I want to see more of us do that. I really, 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 really sincerely do, because I think that is the only way we're going to win back culture. It's not going to be in silos, isolation, division, being toxic, being combative, being separated from the world, right? And there's obviously a degree of separation we need to have from the world system, and we need to live set apart lives, but we're also in the world, just not of the world. And I want to see more of us do that. Now, granted, Kanye's a billionaire. Kanye's a multi-dimensional, achieved person. He gets the macro example of being this guy on the largest podcast in the world. That's beautiful. But we all have the opportunity to sit with the Joe Rogans in our lives, to sit with the people in our lives that don't know Jesus, that don't believe the same thing we believe, and win them over, not necessarily convert them and close them on the... Stop trying to close and sell people on the gospel like you're a freaking used car salesman. You want to win them over and let them ask more questions and believe that they got the Bible on their phone. They could pull up other preaching. If they got questions about Christianity, they can go onto the gotquestions.org or pull it up on YouTube, and understand that for a lot of people, not all people, but for a lot of people, especially people that have never walked with God, it's more of a process. It's more of a slow process, and it's more of a metamorphosis. You know what I mean? And so I'm not saying, Kanye planted the seeds that are going to get Joe Rogan saved. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, prayerfully, that would be incredible. But the fact that Kanye got saved as radically as he did get saved is pretty miraculous to me. It wouldn't surprise me if a few years later, Joe Rogan has more Christians in his life. Joe Rogan hits some kind of roadblock like Kanye did and puts his faith in Jesus. And it was because somebody was there, not judgmentally, not arrogantly, but willing to have a conversation and be their unapologetic self. Kanye, in the same breath of, talking about Jesus, was like, yeah, I'm a genius. And I also find out, I empower other geniuses. He's still himself. As flawed as he is, he's still himself. So that's the big takeaway. Hopefully you guys like that. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. And hopefully that is an applicable step for you to go back into your relationships and ask yourself, how do your non-Christian friends talk about you, your character, your integrity, and your faith? Let me know what y'all think.
King's Dream Entertainment. Ruslan.